What's up, guys? Our wrestling podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious, along with Just the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, bringing you our perspective in the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards,
really
sharing opinions with you. Today's topic:
Tell me.
No Mercy 2002. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Jess, you guys told a really good story. I don't know if we caught it on the recording of why you picked this one. This was kind of an interesting set. And
so in today's wrestling storyline, to play it in, Edge and Mysterio are kind of now they're in a feud with Dominic, and the whole play why Dominic started to get jealous was Edge came back and asked Ray to be his partner, and he's like, remember how we were partners 20 years ago? And then the announcers were talking about how they used to be partners together and blah 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 blue. So I was like bored. I was bored one night, and I was like, you know what events did they fucking partner in? I didn't really remember it. I truly didn't. And then so I typed it in, and I was like, when did Rey Mysterio?
Actually, Jess texted me, and then I was like, WrestleMania 8. Good night.
Craig knew it all.
That's what happened.
So I was like, I googled, Edge and Mysterio teaming together, and then No Mercy popped up in the match that we're going to cover, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot all about this. And then it bled into another shitty storyline. Not that this one was shitty. Then it bled into another shitty storyline that's infamous, not famous, infamous. And I was like, oh my god, we have to do it. And I happen to need to do an October pay-per-view, so here we are. And I didn't want to do Halloween Havoc, so we're doing No Mercy from October 2002.
And you'd argue these No Mercies are pretty good. We might want to do
good.
2003 as well. There's some good stuff on here.
Because I think ultimately we're going to talk about it too. Well, now I'll just talk about it right now. There's no WCW here, so I don't need to do champions. This was the same year that they started the brand split. They shortly after WrestleMania 18. Like a week or two, they did the brand split to where Raw had its own roster and SmackDown. But all the pay-per-views were still combined. All of them, had both in it, as you will see on this one. In 2003, at the beginning of 2003 with Bad Blood, then they started the brand-specific pay-per-views in 2003. Because Dave and I famously, I don't know why I'd be famously, I don't know why I said that. It was in 2004, we went to a SmackDown-only pay-per-view. We went to Judgment Day with JBL and Eddie Guerrero, Taker and Booker T, and Mordecai. We saw Mordecai live.
I'm sorry, was I dead? Was I dead? Where was I?
I don't know where you were actually.
Pieces of shit.
In Tennessee.
Both of you. No, 2004? Pieces of shit.
No, he wasn't there. We just didn't like him. No, it was me. It was me, Dave, and Nathan went. And I think Nathan got us tickets and said, pay me back and let's go. Okay. And so we went, and that was when John Cena was on the rise up and just became U.S. champion, all that good stuff.
So
that's what it tricked me out when I was doing the research for this pay-per-view. I was like, wait a minute. I know for a fact that in 2004, me, Dave, and Nathan went to a SmackDown-only pay-per-view. I know they did that for a while, but I didn't realize they drugged their feet for all of 2002, and then in 2003, they started the brand-specific.
That's when they started doing it.
But this still... The brand split was in effect here because you're going to see Triple H as the World Heavyweight Champion, which is the Raw brand champion, and then Lesnar the WWE champion.
I think I got that. I got that listed out.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Let me give this a go, and Jess, you clean up my mess. This pay-per-view takes place on October 20th in said year of 2002.
He runs WWE now, right? Triple H.
Yeah, that's what I heard. In North Little Rock, Arkansas, at Alltel Arena, the attendance was 10,000 people. And our buy rate was 300,000. Our commentators are Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler for Raw.
Stop right there real quick,
and
Dave. You said the buy rate's 300,000 people?
No, 300,000 buys.
300,000 buys. Buy rate.
That's crazy.
10,000 people in the arena only.
AEW All Out just had 150. So in 2002.
Well, I mean, pay-per-view is way different back here. That's all you can.
Yes,
you can't stream. Yeah, but
you didn't have.
Yes, it was.
Streaming.
But for a non-top five, I don't think that's a bad number. I mean, don't get me wrong. During the Attitude Era, a couple years before, I bet it was like 380 or almost 400.
That's great. And no, I was comparing. No, I think AEW's was with streams. I think because the buys are all on not just pay-per-view, but they know the numbers from Bleacher Report.
They stream from Fight. You buy Fight and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Fights International and Bleacher Report's for domestic for.
There you go.
But that 150. Is probably all in. Can't see what I did there, but just changing the business, like in 2000. Not to get us off track, but in 2022, we're programmed to be like, I'm not paying $50. I pay $10 a month. I get to see premium live events, whatever I want.
$45 back here for goddamn No Mercy for sure.
You did.
Sorry, Dave.
Our commentator, no, you're fine. Our commentators are Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler for Raw. Whoa. And we have Michael Cole along with Taz for our SmackDown matches. Our interviewer was Jonathan Coachman, and our ring announcers was Howard Finkel and Tony Schimmel.
He was the SmackDown guy.
Yep, we had two separate managers, Eric Bischoff for Raw, Stephanie McMahon for SmackDown, that does play in later. Our women's champion was Trish Stratus. Tag team champions are Chris Jericho with Christian. Cruiserweight champion is Jamie Noble. We're going to talk about him a little bit. Kane was our Intercontinental champion. We're definitely going to talk about that. Bye-bye. Triple H was our World Heavyweight champion. Our WWE champion was Brock Lesnar at this moment. And to Jess's point, there is no WCW champions because they all gone.
Well, and so on this pay-per-view as well, they're going to crown the first ever WWE SmackDown champions here.
That's right.
So they start, like I said, the brand was in its infancy. They're retiring the Intercontinental Championship, which it went away for about 8 to 10 months. And then it came back at the beginning of 2003 because Austin came back in the storyline as co-general Raw manager and put it up in a battle royal. And I don't remember who won it. It might have been Christian, but I don't remember.
It was Cody again.
Why? What were they thinking to retire the Intercontinental?
I think Vince wanted to, because what they did after they brought the IC title back, they relegated that to Raw, and then they put they brought the US title back from WCW and put that on SmackDown. So I think they were trying to figure out, because here I want to say I heard the commentators on this pay-per-view say the women's world title was Raw specific and the cruiserweight was SmackDown. So they're already trying to not overcrowd. So they wanted to merge the IC and world heavyweight title for whatever reason. Here, and the Intercontinental Championship they retired. Fucking weird.
They even had a package of the history of the Intercontinental Championship before they fucking retired.
Yeah, it's in my notes. I get pretty angry about it, without a doubt.
Because Triple H in the back was like, we don't need it. What we need is we just
What if we merge? What if when I beat everybody, we merge into the Universal Superversal Championship?
I'll just wear both.
I'm Ron Burgundy. That's what I'll just 60% of the time.
He has a shitty comment for the store. Yeah, I'll just do it all myself. And he drinks his water.
We open up to an Undertaker sitting in the back with a busted arm, and Kane decides to sit next to him.
So I already hate this.
And ask the Undertaker, "How was your week?"
I already hate this because I'm not watching SmackDown or Raw. I'm watching a pay-per-view. So can you get to the goddamn wrestling and the payoffs of your feud? Do I have to watch vignettes? God, I fucking hate this pay-per-view for that. I'm already annoyed. Go on, Dave.
Yeah, they do. I
fucking hate this.
Are they both SmackDown or both Raw?
They're separated.
Yeah, they're separated. And then he sat down. He's like, "So tell me, what's new in your life?"
How was your week?
But I do like the music. The music goes dan 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 dan. After he said it, which I thought was very cool.
I hated this part of wrestling only because after all the dust settled, and they even did it before WCW went out of business, they started making all their pay-per-views look just like Raw and SmackDown. The stupid vignettes in the back, the stupid skits. Stop it. Stop. So I have to suffer through it. Dave,
so many skits.
So
many skits, David.
In a dark match, the Hurricane defeats Steven Richards in 3
Your weekly
minutes,
television is when you should be doing that stupid
just for
stuff.
Your FYI. All right.
You know what I mean?
The dark match was a skit.
Why are you doing skits?
Match number 1. You guys are out of control. 13 minutes in.
The dark match of this pay-per-view was a skit.
A skit.
No. Match number 1 is for the World Tag Team Championships. Chris Jericho with Christian defeats Booker T and Goldust to retain those tag titles, and that took us to 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I still say Booker T has the best entrance ever.
He does. He just fucking does. You're right, Dave. It pops me every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This match gets a B+ just for Goldust and the Power Slam alone. But, I'll put it even up to the A- category. Solid work, really fast, crisp match. The crowd was totally pumped. It's everything you want to see in an opening match. And can I say, was the rope break staged? No, it was not.
Jericho totally pulls that off.
You're a mark.
I don't think it was. Of course you're a mark. I say no.
They talked about it in the scrum afterwards.
But can you...
work.
He's just eating a muffin and be like... Sometimes you got to break some ropes.
Can you just applaud Jericho for that happening and him be able to make it work and still make the finish work?
Listen,
Jericho's a genius.
I will turn this.
It out.
If you don't shut up, I will turn this goddamn episode into a Legacy of Chris Jericho right now.
Okay, do it.
We should have.
You looked up like Booker T just walked in your room.
With a moonsault after bulldogging Jericho, the title belt. Hooks the leg. Man, oh man! The winners of this bout, and still World Tag Team Champions, Chris Jericho and Christian.
I did.
I think you did.
Sorry, and we could have overlaid that. I don't know I did that live, but I felt
totally
it neat.
I loved it. That's good. It's good.
Anyway, I'm
Goldust ahead of his time, by the way, too. Yeah.
David is flying out his A-minuses right now, which is crazy.
I'm flying hard.
I gave it a C+ because it was a solid opener. There was nothing special about this.
Stop it. C+? Are you serious?
A C+. It wasn't like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? C+. Where are you gonna go from now, Mr. A? Like, where the fuck are you gonna go?
I'm gonna go. We're gonna go down.
You fucked yourself in a corner, buddy. I thought it was a solid tag opener. The heel champs retained.
Nah, you're out of control.
I gave it a C+. I think that's a great grade. It was a solid match. There was nothing wrong with it at all. And like Dave said, they improvised that fucking rope break, which is not easy to do. A lot of people would panic.
It would panic.
They would panic. What?
What do you got, Craig?
Like fans in the stand, Craig would have panicked his fucking ass off if we were there live. Like Craig would have lost.
So why would you say that?
She's telling.
I will meet in the middle because I don't want to get in the. I don't want to fight you guys. So I gave it a solid B. It was good. A good opener. It was good seeing these guys.
Yeah, it was fine.
Good. Mr.
Tori Wilson
he's all right.
Defeated Dawn Marie in a singles match, I guess, over her father.
Yes.
That's a 4 minutes and 40 seconds that I'd like to get back. Give me a D.
Oh, I was thought you were gonna give it an A-. I mean, you're on that.
They just can't compare to the rest of that card. Craig, what do you give it?
I'll give it a D. I'll give it a C-.
I give it a D+.
A C-? What's the matter with you? Where do you go from here?
Wow, swinging neck breaker by Tori. The cover on Dawn, hook in the leg, and Tori got her. Big win for Tori Wilson. Here's your winner, Tori Wilson. And you saw Tori, if you can read lips, ladies and gentlemen, she just said that was for my dad.
All right. Coach gives RVD a quick interview before his match. Match number 3. Rob Van Dam defeats Ric Flair in just under 8 minutes. It's a solid B for me. I almost graded it lower.
I can give you an opportunity.
Wait, what match are we on?
While the psychology of the match is perfect, you have to take Van Dam's legs out if you're Ric Flair because you're older. You got to find a way to win. To me, that almost takes away from how fun it could have been. But then we still get that Van Dam match work towards the end. The crowd really pops. They're still having fun there.
Yeah,
Ric Flair is in phenomenal shape, by the way. Better than his T-shirt days at the end of ECW.
You're comparing him to the
WCW,
77-year-old Ric Flair we saw like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, my God, yeah. I was just like, it was just a better match than I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed it.
What did you give it? I'm sorry, David.
A B.
Oh.
Woo wings.
I gave it a C. I gave it a solid C. I saw the things that Dave did. I felt like RVD was sort of let me kind of backhand myself on that. Guys like RVD at this point were being looked to kind of take the future, right? Like, and I think that was important for him. I think it is important for guys like RVD to get in there with guys like Flair because you're not going to be able to do a typical RVD match. And if RVD was any kind of pro wrestler, he would know how to slow it down and kind of just wrestle Flair's match. Because listen, you're going to have a billion matches. You had a billion matches before this. You're going to have a billion matches after this. Just you cannot get an RVD match out of Ric Flair. He's not up to speed. He was 50-something years old here. Like, there's no way you were going to. And so I appreciated what RVD did. So when I say C, that's a C. It's above it. It's average. It's above average. I think that's all they wanted to get out of it. I don't think they thought they were ever going to steal the show with RVD and Flair. And I don't think RVD and Flair ever thought they were going to steal the show. I think RVD was being tested. I think he was just like, stay the course. Flair was feeling him out. He was friends with Trips in the back, Rick was. So, again, it just all seemed... And I want to say there was a feud after this with RVD and Triple H. It might have been before this, but I'm pretty sure it was after it.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was before. That's why, because Flair hit RVD in the head on the previous pay-per-view.
They were keeping RVD up there. They were trying to work him in, and then you look up, 3 years later or whatever, he's fucking world champion, beating John Cena. So, they had plans for RVD. I think they wanted to test him, and I don't think a C is bad. I just think it wasn't meant to be anything else. He had to really slow himself down for Flair. But heaven forbid RVD learn how to work, right? Flair was Flair. I loved it when Flair would hurt the leg and RVD's limping across the ring and Flair's just stalking him.
And by the way, can we just talk about the shape that Flair put himself into at this time, like compared to where he was? I mean, he was working,
getting his confidence back. I mean, he was working out with Triple H, and Orton came in shortly after this.
I was going to say, what years was Evolution? Shortly after this?
Shortly after.
2 years after this?
Really quick. Not even 2 years. No,
it's on the way.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Yeah.
Jess is a garbage human being, but I completely agree with him here.
Oh my God!
I give it a C, and I actually took it from.
It's not bad though.
No, it's not bad. And my perspective was, oh god, Van Dam has to wrestle a Flair match. But you're absolutely right. Like
that's where I went.
Why
to in the
shouldn't
beginning.
Rob Van Dam have to wrestle and be
it's
dictated
one
in the
night.
ring?
Don't fucking die on this hill. It's one night. Don't botch everywhere.
And did Van Dam ever do that? He never
did do a high impact match.
Did the work.
Botch,
Because when I was watching, I was like, oh, he's just Flair's calling it, and like he doesn't want to do this. But like you're right though, like. If Van Dam's going to be the star that they want him to be, and ultimately Flair looks at the lights here and gives it to Van Dam, Flair can't do the stuff that Van Dam wants him to do. So let's see how he can do. So he sold the leg. He was fantastic. It was just a little bit of slow, but it was the best that I think these two guys are going to do, considering the storyline and considering everything that was going. I think my only issue, and Jess, I only just thought of it when Jess was talking. At the very end, he worked on the leg the entire time, limping, and as soon as Van Dam won, stopped selling the leg.
The leg was
jumped on the ropes, jumped on the turnbuckle, and then he was like.
By the way, that's
even the finish.
That's going to be a
totally
theme
fine.
in this pay-per-view for sure. I mean, selling's not what it used to be.
I personally think that you sell it till the finish, and I think.
Do you know what?
I'm not saying it's right, but that's where this pay-per-view is.
Oh no, can he hit it? Leave that frog splatter. 5-star frog. Oh, he's got him. Van Dam with a 5-star frog splash. Taking the air out of the nature boy. With the hook of the leg. The head of the class. Right, it's over. I can't believe it. Here is your winner, Rob Van Dam.
Do you know what Flair said when he got to the back?
What did he say?
He said RVD's a world champion. And he gave him a nod.
But was he angry when he said it? Like, did he kind of scream it?
World champ.
He's all trips, and he closed the door or whatever. He's like, he can hang with the best. I don't know. But I don't think Flair was that Flair here. I think Flair was like he was getting his confidence back. Flair, so he was more like he's a great wrestler.
He's a great wrestler. I didn't
Flair's like, was that good? Was that good? Yeah, that's the Flair we had.
He looked good. I mean, tuck your rope in your tights, but you're good.
There you go. Can we do some general manager beef where Stephanie's talking a Big Show and Eric Bischoff tries to take a dump on it?
What was this? Jesus.
And the Big Show apparently is unhappy that he has not been on a pay-per-view since July, and he kind of throws Bischoff into some food.
Maybe fat and out of shape.
Maybe because he suck. Yeah, maybe because you suck.
Maybe because you're the Big Show. So
smoke cigarettes.
And then we get a nice little vignette about the IC title. You guys touched on this a minute ago. We get a whole vignette of the history of the Intercontinental title. I find it interesting that we're talking about the Legacy IC title since they were about ready to kill it, and this kind of pisses me off.
He's world
I just telling you, I was really mad about this.
So,
I'm like, how dare you?
Was it apparent before Jess goes off? Was it apparent? It says winner take all, but did they know that they were just absorbing it?
Yes.
Or was the winner going to take both belts, or did we know at this point it was going away?
If Kane wanted, they were going to absorb the world title.
Because Jim Ross said it several times. He's like, "This is a farewell for the Intercontinental title."
Bye bye.
So it was a whole like the winner takes all. It was called the winner takes all. So the winner would have merged it. Okay. No matter what. So they were killing. They were advertising in a match. They were advertising killing one of their longest running championships besides their world title.
It's always been a second tier title. Why not just put in the trash can?
But can someone? I don't get it. I don't someone like that's the question I want to ask. Because
I said so.
The podcast. Like why was that a good idea? Like, can you just tell me why?
What Jan used to do, she used to say, "I hate the Intercontinental Championship matches," and Jan, I'd listen to Jan. I tell Vince, I said, "Just dump it, just dump
goodness."
Because I know where this could go, and it's not going.
It's not going there. It's not going there.
All right. Match number 4, so you guys can yell at me some more. Jamie Noble with Nydia defeats Tajiri and retains his cruiserweight championship. What?
Sorry, that was just the promo for the Intercontinental.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry, I'm good.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
Let Dave run the show, buddy.
I know. I'm sorry. I was like, did we just gloss over
what happened to the match?
I never interrupt him. You need to calm down.
This match takes 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Before I grade this, I have to ask.
Was this for the cruiserweight title? Is this for the cruiserweight?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Cruiserweight. Yeah, I said he retains his cruiserweight championship, but that's when Craig
asking a
interrupted
question
me.
to be sure.
Jesus Christ. Before I grade this, I have to ask
Jamie
you,
Noble?
are we going to do a Can we do a Jamie Noble kind of bio soon?
Wearing jean shorts?
He was wearing jean shorts. He always did. But can I say this guy's kind of underrated? We kind of need to do something on Jamie Noble. Guy's just good.
Kind of underrated.
Kind of.
Jesus Christ.
Kind of.
Jamie Noble's wonderful.
He's
been in the backstage. Does he still work for WWE?
I think he still does.
I was just thinking that. Like, you always see him in the suit. I think he does. I would hope so.
He's wonderful. He was wonderful here, and he's
probably one of Tripp's guys here.
And you know what?
I mean, he's probably running the show backstage.
You give him a shit gimmick. He's like a trailer park guy with Nydia here.
Doesn't care.
And they're fucking.
But
they embrace it. They embrace it, and they make it their own. They were funny. They made
he was
laugh.
so good.
Yeah,
so good.
It's funny shit.
This match is an A for me. You guys can crap on it.
Jesus,
These guys, they always have great matches.
Blocked it again. Missed with a kick. Switch. Tajiri off the reversal. Big time. Look at this. I think Nydia trips up Jamie Noble, giving Noble the leverage and helping him retain the title. Still cruiserweight champion, Jamie Noble. Tajiri went for the victory roll.
It was top. It was one of the top two of the night. Like, I don't blame Dave. I don't blame Dave.
It was. And I'll let you guys get to the details.
I know. It was the third best match of the night, for sure. But
I know.
Yeah. Where did you put it, Craig?
Wait, sorry. What did you just give it a B minus?
Yeah, B minus.
I give it a solid B. I give it a solid B. I think they.
I guarantee you, if I zoomed into camera on your paper right now, it says B with the biggest minus. Fuck, I have to go a little above shit.
No, I legit gave it a B.
But it was a really good match. I mean, honestly, like, it was a really good match. Like, the crowd the crowd made me mad too because they were sitting on their goddamn hands, and I'm like, God,
they were bad the whole night. I think that's a big part of it for me. They were bad the whole night.
What else do you want? First of all, it's a division that Vince was never strong in. So you get this fucking quality match in a division that he never gave two shits about. I'm like, God damn, like, they're giving you gold right now, and you guys are just like, well, I mean, it's not Kane.
Both these guys deserve more respect and a little bit more time.
They beat the snot out of each other too. Like, it's not.
Yeah, they did.
But with, like,
it's snug.
The Nydia stuff too, like the kiss to the ref, and Tajiri takes liberties. He gets a kiss out of her.
She kissed everybody.
Nydia kind of likes it, and then responds with, like, at the very end.
And then Jamie Noble kisses her, and he kicks Noble in the back of the head. It's fucking great.
But they beat the snot. Tajiri's totally underrated. It was good.
They took what they had thrown at them. They made it funny, and then they said, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna fucking put on like a cruiserweight clinic real quick for you. We'll do that."
Yeah. Yep.
It's good.
Let's just hug it out and call it a B. Okay, move on.
So,
Jess hates me.
Benoit was looking for Eddie.
We should have to average all of our grades.
Can we all agree that Benoit looking for Eddie is some pretty nasty foreshadowing?
Maybe Eddie was injured.
Yeah, see that black eye, that shiner? Yeah. What is that from? Was that like
Shawn Michaels? I don't know.
Where the
fuck
fuck
fight
is
with Shawn Michaels? Yeah.
Was that like from a? Is it a work from a injury from the Raw before? Because it looked legit.
Probably.
Yeah,
probably.
It
was just kind of interesting that he was looking for Eddie, and I was like, oh. You were looking for Eddie when he didn't make it to the arena a few years later.
It's very eerie watching these guys in a backstage segment, to be honest, and you wonder at what stage of their addictions they are. And I hate to say that because you just want to judge them on their work and their merits.
There were a lot of pimples, Craig, on the body is what I would say.
A lot of pimples. So I'm in the same wavelength as Craig is, like, but I choose to deal with it in a different way. Like, what it allows me to do because of what he did, and you know, the way his life ended and everything that happened, is now I can look at it because I was a huge Benoit defender, and like I loved his in-ring work or whatever, and I was upset when they would job him out in WCW. I was upset when he didn't win it right away, even WWF, even though he eventually, you know, in 2004 won the title.
They eventually gave it to him, yeah.
I was like super annoyed that like they didn't even, because he was my favorite. Damn it, you pushed the ones that I like. But the more I watch him now, because I can kind of like just look objectively at it, because I don't love him anymore because of what he did. I don't hate him either in that sense because I like still watching his matches, but like I look at him now and go, you had no charisma, man. You went higher than you ever had any right to ever go. Like, you were small.
It's true.
You were small. You had no charisma. And, like, you know, the fact that you even sniffed the world title, like, you overachieved a million%. From that very company a decade earlier was a land of the
You really
giants,
feel tougher
and he
for
wins the
Eddie
world
in
title.
that, Jess, right? Because Eddie didn't do anything that's gruesome for one, but two, he had the charisma, he had the fun.
Yeah, well,
Eddie
Eddie was
had
a
it
wrestling
all.
character, man. Like Eddie was just, goddamn.
Eddie's the one that you really.
So now I think I can
like,
objectively look back and look at Benoit and be like, I understand all the people, the naysayers about Benoit because he didn't have everything.
And this,
like,
and to your point, this little skit vignette kind of tells the story. Eddie's so much better. He's like, oh, you want me to open the door?
Like Eddie's
no.
or Benoit's charisma here was laughing, and then even Angle had to slap his chest to fucking get him like a little bit, like,
get him moving.
But between Angle and Eddie, it was like fucking charisma flying all over the place.
By the way, Angle, to your point, saves the day and he's the greenest one in that whole segment. Like,
it's insane, and I think I can look back like objectively now and be like, dude, he was no achiever. Benoit was like he had no business like being a world champion. When I was upset, I was a fucking WCW. I was upset. Fucking give him a shot. You fucking give him a chance, like, and everything. And then like now I can look back because I have reason to.
If it was solely based on the work, man, he'd be a 12-time world champion.
Well,
there was a time where technically he might have been the best wrestler in the world, but he was by far never even close to the best like all-around wrestler ever.
Match number 5: Triple H defeats Kane in the unification match for the World Heavyweight Championship and also absorbs the Intercontinental Championship. That takes 16 unbelievable minutes and 13
It feels like it was like a
seconds.
half an hour.
Oh my God.
It feels like it was
and I went and took a bathroom break. You guys take on this garbage. I don't even want to.
I almost didn't watch it just to say that I didn't watch it because I like doing that with Triple H matches.
I think I'll give it a D just based on the bullshit. I'm so irritated with this.
What? You might as well give it an A.
No, I gave it a D. I gave it the same grade as Dave, a D.
I gave it a D.
And you know what? Like, because they structured the match. I saw the roller coaster that they were trying to take you on, but I couldn't get over the Katie Vick shit because for people who don't know about the Katie Vick, it was like a skit where it was that thing where they're bringing out this thing from I guess Kane when he was a kid dated someone named Katie Vick, and did he kill her? I don't remember what happened.
Apparently there was a car accident. She died.
He drove her home when she was drunk.
There we go. So Kane killed her or something by accident.
But he was drinking too, according to Triple H.
They did a segment where they did a skit where they were in the funeral home, and Triple H was obviously wearing a Kane mask, and he was acting like he was Kane, and he acted like he was going to have SEX with a dead corpse, and they did that on Raw. And that's what everybody calls the infamous Katie Vick angle. That's when you hear that, that's what it was, because it was this awful skit. They were trying so hard to throw back to the Attitude Era. They were trying so hard, like, to get Triple H over. They were trying so hard to make Triple H, like, edgy and cool. You know, oh my God, you know, and everything. And it was just such bad taste and such trash and garbage.
It worked, dude.
And then, by the way, unless lightning is coming out of this motherfucker's hand, Kane's never been a good worker. He's fucking terrible in this. I can't. He's fucking terrible. I know it's a night off. I know some veterans will be nice to Glenn and be like, "Oh, Kane was great. It's a night off." Yeah, it was not off because it looked awful. Like everything Kane. If Kane wasn't doing supernatural shit and didn't have Paul Bearer fucking saying all this outlandish stuff or whatever. Did he make the best of his character? Yes. Is Glenn Jacobs a Hall of Famer because of who he had to get in there with? And he obviously played the politics right in the backstage, and he knew what to do. Yes. I'm not saying Glenn Jacobs is not a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer, but he deserves it. But at the same time, like, he's never been. Kane matches are not great. Undertaker became great even after that dead gimmick that he did. He learned how to wrestle well. He always wanted to work well. Like, Kane was never like that. And I'm not saying Kane hypes himself as that. I'm saying that, like, when you watch this...
I'm saying I don't like this match. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly right. Yes. In my long-winded way, Dave is right.
Yeah.
When you watch them try to have this 16-minute match where they're taking you on a thing, I'm like, Kane's not equipped to do this for you. And you should have bells and whistled it, but then because they were absorbing the IC title into the winner, they didn't want to have a shit match.
Why?
They didn't want to have a schmoz 5-minute match, so they felt that they needed to do 16. And again, I don't know. Maybe I was really harsh right now with Kane.
No, look at the poster. The poster has Kane's mask on it. It's leading. Yeah. It's selling it. It's selling tickets. You're marketing it on Kane.
It's so weird.
I just feel that if you put Kane, you have Triple H and Kane with the top 2 titles in the promotion, arguably, because I know Lesnar was WWE champion. But you have the top 2 titles in the promotion. You're going to absorb one of them, and the people that did it were Kane and Triple H. And you try to drag Kane's 2-move ass, 3-move ass out to 16-minute waters. You're asking for fucking the fans being completely bored, which they were. Until the end, when
they weren't a good crowd to begin with.
Flair had to come out.
If this was Rock and Wrestling, Glenn would have had a 2-year run being fed to Hogan. Bye-bye.
Don't bring it up, please. I love him. I don't love him, actually. I don't know why. Like, Flair came out. He had to be super animated to save the match here. They had to bring the sledgehammer out. They had to bring everything out that they could.
He interfered in half the fucking match after losing
I'm surprised that Triple
an
H
hour
didn't bring
before.
a DX shirt out just to get a pop from the crowd, to whatever. Like, they tried everything they could. D. I'm probably being nice, Dave. We're probably being nice. I give it a D. It was shit, and it was the death of the IC title, which was also trash. I hated it. Like I hated it.
It makes me so angry. Sorry, Craig. What do you got, man?
I give it an A-. I think these guys. They highlighted the show. It was the. If you're going to get rid of the IC title, you might.
This should have been.
You might as well
record.
go bring it all you have. They left it all on the mat that night. No, it was a D. It was. I really hate Triple H in 2002, and most years. And you just know that this is his idea, and you just know if I'm gonna be the guy to retire the IC title. I mean, let me go over.
And with Kane.
And I'm
known for doing 15-20-minute classics.
And for a second, when Jess said Kane is not a good worker, I guess I changed the definition of worker in my head.
Did I say worker? If I did, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that because a good worker sometimes is limited but knows their limitations. And that's not fair for me to say. If I said that, I'm sorry. I misspoke. Because Kane is a good worker for what his limitations are, and he knew what he was doing. Kane never put himself in trouble, in other words. He never...
I think I'll rephrase and just say Kane is an amazing hand, not the best performer or worker for the moment.
Not a guy that you
he's a
top
big
2 titles with and you take him out.
He's a big man.
Unbelievable day. Triple H victorious after Kane single-handedly attacked almost everybody in this arena.
Yep.
More like have mercy, right?
Oh, no. Waylon Mercy is what I heard. I kept thinking Waylon Mercy this whole time. Steph and Tracy have a little chat with The Undertaker looming away.
Yeah, stop.
We find out that Tracy is totally giving us bullshit.
Thank you for clarifying. You're a bitch.
And then Steph says, get out.
Yeah. Undertaker calls her a lying bitch.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, bitch was totally over PG-13.
Which is funny because Undertaker, he didn't have better things to do that night. Why was that a part of
making sure that Sarah was okay? Is number one.
That's what I'm saying.
Forget the match.
We didn't want to see Taker and Lesnar. Of course we did, but they had to throw that storyline on, and then they had to do the hand storyline where he breaks his hand, and the whole thing. I'm like, why are you doing all this? You don't need to do any of this. You're putting him in a Hell in a Cell.
The match is enough.
It's Taker.
Right?
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's
Red
Paul
Devil
Heyman
Taker.
Too going. What if we?
Well, we don't
break your hand, kind sir.
We don't want to overlook the next thing because we get a pretty sweet montage angle for the tag team tournament. We see Benoit, we see Chavo, we see everybody
crowning the brand new first ever SmackDown tag team.
Those belts are terrible. Can we just quickly do an aside and say how bad the belts in 2002 are?
Of course you can.
They were like a weird ripoff of the actual tag titles that Christian and Jericho were wearing earlier.
I don't remember these belts, and then even was it the heavyweight belt? It was Brock's belt. Looks terrible.
It was that was the undisputed world title after Jericho.
Yeah.
After Jericho merged the WCW and WWF World, it turned into that.
Oh my. Yeah, bad days for belts. Match number 6.
Dave's like, just
Chris
fucking move
Benoit
forward.
and Kurt Angle defeat Edge and Rey Mysterio in the inaugural WWE Tag Team Championship match. 22 minutes and 3 seconds. Second longest match on the card. I know you're going to love this one. This is my A+. This is the best match on the card. Don't care what you all say. Shut up. It's not even close. You guys can get into the details itself, but I'll say it sounds bad. Hear me out. It says something when 4 people are in the ring, and Edge is probably the least talented overall performer in that ring. And I'm saying that because I know I have my disagreements about Edge and what he's done and what he's the belts he's carried.
I see what you're saying.
And I'm just like, Edge is amazing, and he is probably the worst performer in this match.
Greenest, not worst. Greenest.
Green.
Right?
I kind of get what they're saying.
Yeah, we have our disagreements on Edge, but he's a fantastic wrestling persona. But you've got Rey Mysterio, you've got Chris Benoit, you've got Kurt Angle doing work in there. It's just incredible talent for one match. It's fantastic, and the work is amazing. You guys can talk about the specifics, but this was my best match on the card by far. They torched it.
I'll go next, so Jess can close it. I'll give it an A also. Man,
A+.
the way Kurt manhandles Mysterio in the beginning. Kurt's in his very angry phase here. I don't know where he is in his journey, but he also gives it up and lets Mysterio.
This was a couple of months after they opened up SummerSlam 02 and fucking tore the house down. Angle and Mysterio did, and Mysterio's pay-per-view debut.
Goodness,
they worked together so well. Like, it was Jesus Christ.
He dumps him to the ground and throws him around like a rag doll. And
What a counter by Angle. You cannot wrestle Kurt Angle. Will Edge tap out to the ankle lock. He's going to bring Edge tap down. Man.
Here are your winners and the first ever WWE Tag Team Champions, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to stand up and give these two teams a standing ovation.
No doubt about it was awesome.
Yeah, this was an A+ all the way. There's no question. Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. Like, even at the end, I love the ending. I love it when he puts people in the ankle lock because you're just like, oh my God, he's gonna kill him. Like, and I love he'll flip it in. And he's like, you can reverse me, and then I'm gonna rip your leg off and make you tap. Like, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Undertaker is fighting to get his cast off for the title match, and maybe a little needle injection for the pain.
Perfect.
Just
Right into it.
Wait, no, we missed that. There's a women's match between.
No, we didn't. God. No, we didn't.
What?
I didn't. You did. I did not miss it. I have the notes.
Oh, my
The
bad.
vignettes
Jesus.
are not, Craig, the backstage stuff doesn't go along with the
bad.
match that's coming after.
Oh, my bad.
No, I thought so too. Like, when I was watching the pay-per-view, I was like, wow, they're going to do the Triple H and Kane match third, and then they didn't. And I was like, oh, fuck, why did they play that package then?
Oh, you thought Trish was gonna, main event the whole thing?
She was in the main event.
No.
Match number 7.
Take it out-
Trish
take it out of
Stratus
me, Dave.
retains
That's
her
good.
WWE Women's Championship, defeating Victoria in a singles match, which took 5 minutes and 31 seconds. It could have gotten a higher grade if they had just gotten a little bit more. Plus, the ending's a little wonky. This gets me into the C range. I would have liked to see a big finish instead of the weird roll-up. But for 5.5 minutes, they did pretty well. This goes back to what we always talk about. The women needed more time, but I would say the women are earning respect here. And I hate to say it, both women's matches were like quote-unquote cool-off matches. Now they are constantly fighting for main event matches at
They
WrestleMania.
can main event now if they want to.
If they want to, if they can. And they can. So I would argue that this is where that road is being grounded in, and we're seeing that ability, but it just wasn't quite there yet. I feel bigger payoff for finish and maybe just another minute, and it could have gotten into a much higher grade for me. And then obviously Victoria still beats the crap out of her at the end, kicks her right in the face. It's really, really cool stuff. Decent match considering what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a cool down, and they did a really good job. They kind of turned some heads there.
There's a roll-up by Trish. Got the roll-up. Got it! 3. Yes!
The winner of this bout, and still women's champion, Trish Stratus.
Only on Raw, JR. She's exclusive to Raw, the women's champion.
So I'm fixing to get yelled at pretty hard here for match number 8. Brock Lesnar defeats The Undertaker in Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. He retains in 27 minutes and 18 seconds.
Dave,
I gave it a solid B.
Well, I have one stat that I think you're missing. How much fucking blood did The Undertaker have to lose for this match? Like,
I literally said a lot of blood, wow, at the end of these notations. Even Heyman's bleeding, no? Or is that blood from somebody else?
No, he fucking, no, he
They're all
bladed.
bleeding, all three. I was
To
like,
Jess's point, that's Paul E trying to think he needs more than he needs to sell this match, but he didn't need more to, unless it was purely to convince The Undertaker to take the loss.
Tombstone time. Count him. Oh my God. Oh man. Oh my God. Straight to the champion. 5 to the Undertaker. The cover. Brock Lesnar retains the title. Here is your winner and still WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. What a fight.
what did you guys grade it? What do you guys?
What do you say?
No, I gave it a B.
Oh.
I'll go B plus. It was a great fight. It's not one of the best
I just thought there was a little too much going on, but that's where I was going. Sorry.
I think there's a little too much blood going on. I think
Yes.
As far as pacing, they didn't go to the top. They didn't overuse the gimmick. There was just a lot.
Brock went to the top after he won.
A lot of blood. My God. Heyman bled like a stuck pig. Undertaker takes the first 5-10 minutes pounding it to Brock. I liked it a lot, and I was expecting. You got these two big guys. What are you going to do with it? Like, I was fully enthralled with it, and it really was. And kudos to the Undertaker, even back then, 2002, seeing the lights for Brock, and maybe, as I said earlier, all this stuff was to make Undertaker see the lights and raise Brock, and then Brock. One thing I will say is when the cage was coming down, I was like, guys, get a new cage. There's a lot of footholes in there. There's a lot of holes in the steel cage. But it's probably to climb up the cage.
Yeah.
And Brock does it at the very, very end. But well done. It's brutal. It's half an hour. It's a long time, but it really is just a brawl.
That's a great point. So when Mick Foley scaled the Hell in the Cell in '98, it did not have footholes. And Foley was always talking about, like, dude, I could barely fucking climb it. So after that, sometime, Vince is like, I appreciate what you did for my company, but don't ever do anything like that again. But seriously, put footholes in there in case somebody wants to come. Like, what the fuck? Why would you do that? Like,
Yeah.
It's so funny that I beat Dave up about his first match grade, but I thought you guys were going to beat me up about this one because I was teetering. I was like, do I give it a B or a B plus? And am I going to get yelled at for this? And so I'll land on a B plus because for a WWE match, this was fantastic, and it was a fun match, and it was violent, and I don't mind the blood because it was a pay-per-view and it was Hell in the Cell, so I don't mind that.
I just remember Brock throwing the stair like halfway across both rings.
Oh my God! I thought it was going to hit the crowd.
That guy.
But how shitty was the crowd? Because at one point in the middle of it, all you heard was Heyman screaming. So it's like this crowd should have been better. This crowd was bad in Arkansas. Screw you, Arkansas.
I'm
Go
more
back to
relieved
your
that you guys gave
shanties.
it, like in the B's because I was like, look, like they went out of their way to make it an A, and I thought for a main event, and I thought for a spectacle,
overdid it.
and I thought for an entertainment match, it was just fine, and it exceeded expectations. It was great, but yeah, I mean the tag match, come on.
Yeah,
that was the best match on the fucking card. Like,
yeah, best match.
It wasn't like the opener.
Exactly my point.
Oh, knock it off.
I'm sorry. I did. Why did I do that?
Overall, I give this pay per view a solid B.
Yeah,
like, I really
solid B plus.
enjoyed it.
B minus.
There was not a bad match on here, even though we gave like the Dawn Marie one a D. I was like, yeah, it was a throwaway. They just it didn't bother us too much. Really, the big thing why I docked this pay-per-view is I hated the backstage vignettes. It took away from me. I might have felt more of a match flow if I didn't like have to fucking.
The storylines are overdone, especially with Katie Vick and the main
Why do I have
stuff?
to pay $45 for a fucking Nitro or Raw or SmackDown? I don't want to do that. You told me the stories on your weekly television to pay it off on the pay-per-view, not retell me vignettes and have that horrible actress in there with Stephanie about how just kidding. I didn't really.
That's Tracy.
Last week.
Okay, Tracy
or whatever her name was. Like,
pay some respect.
So stupid. Yeah.
I don't like Triple H.
Who was that? Who was that person? Like, was that a real actress? I mean,
she was hot as hell. Whatever she was, she was
I don't
hot.
think she was a wrestler.
Because she was not a good actress.
No, she wasn't. I think
she was out there. Like,
hot.
What does Bruce say?
Did she know somebody? Like, I don't know.
If this was something to wrestle with, Conrad would be like, Bruce, where'd you get her from? Actresses are us.
That's what and he would be totally serious about it. So there you go. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, can you do us a solid and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or on Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. For Jess Craig, this is Dave with the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one. This